vicious comments that we're seeing on Facebook and YouTube, not necessarily YouTube, I haven't watched all that many there, but on Twitter in particular, in relation to the Meghan and Harry expose as we saw it over the last couple of days. I watched the first episode last night, and I personally thought it was okay. Because what is wrong with two young people who are in this unique situation being able to the first time talk about their experiences, what it's been like, and particularly what it's like as a royal to confront the certain aspects of that particular role, the monarchy and so forth, and to confront it in a way which is honest, open and forthright. But regardless of what the good intentions were and the need that they had to tell their story in their way, the media and Twitter followers have come out in a vile attempt to persuade us that these are particularly terrible people, particularly Meghan. And I think one of the issues for me is that the vileness that we see is that really about who she is, or are other elements at play here? Is this about what people think of themselves and they're just projecting that onto her? Because it does indicate to me that there are a lot of vile, distasteful people. There's the Piers Morgans of this world. There's a whole host of other people that seem to think that they have a better knowledge of who these people are than they even do themselves. That there's an attempt to be able to portray these people in the most repulsive possible way that they can without actually either having a conversation with them, which is probably unlikely for most people, and it is primarily about how the media has portrayed Meghan Markle for all these years. And I think that it's about time we took check of the reasons why we do respond in certain ways to some of these more newsworthy type individuals. What I did enjoy about and I would suggest for all of you to at least have a look at the Netflix docuseries, and when you watch it, just watch it with an open mind. You're not trying to judge anybody. We need to appreciate that this is a couple who are world-renowned for being simply who they are, one a prince and one a film star. So what is it that they as a young couple are bringing to their marriage and their involvement with their world around them, and how particularly I think Prince Harry is trying to find a way to break away from the aristocracy that has bound him his entire life. There's a really interesting sequence where they talk about, Harry talks about particularly what it was like for him growing up under the view of the paparazzi and how that impacted him and what he felt by this intrusive nature of the paparazzi and how that not only affected his mother, but his mother's well-being, in fact, to the point whereby, as a result of the paparazzi chasing them and them trying to run away from the paparazzi, she was involved in a car accident which killed her. And what does his mother mean to him? And these are significant conversations that we all should have about, what other people, important people, have meant to us in their lives. And he gets criticised for saying that Meghan reminds him of his mother because he sees her as gentle, loving and nurturing and caring. And this is how he viewed his mum. And so is it up to us to say that that is wrong somehow, that this is not the way we should be viewing somebody such as Meghan because simply we don't like her because she's black or because she's American or because she's an actress? What is it that we don't like? Or is it because we ourselves haven't been able to have this type of relationship and we're critical of that? Is it that we're just angry people and we must take out our anger and our vileness out on this particular young couple? I think it's about time we gave them a break. That it seems to me that it's appropriate for us to be all to sit back and say, this is just, whose story is this? This is their story. They have the right to tell it. It does interest me that, these days, if we want to tell our story, we do what I'm doing. We can go on to YouTube, we can go on to Snapchat, we can go on to TikTok, we can go on to any form of social media, Facebook, and we can talk about our experiences and what happens to us on a daily basis. But for some reason, because these people have a wider format, they have a wider audience who are interested in them, that they choose to do it in this format is somehow wrong. I don't give a shit how much money they're making from it. I couldn't care, and I don't think it's nowhere near as much money as they've probably got combined. But and if they're making money from it, so be it. Why does it matter? People go. It interests me that people go onto TikTok and YouTube and other social media with a view to making money. No one seems to object terribly much to all of that. So why isn't it they can't use the media that's available to them in order to be able to talk about who they are and to demonstrate to the world that they're not this version that the media has constructed of who they are? I was having a conversation with my golf mates today and told them I'd been watching this video, and their immediate reaction was, well, I'm never going to watch it, and one of them said, my partner doesn't, would never watch it because she thinks Meghan is this and Meghan is that. And I was thinking, well, what information have you got that has informed you or your partner about who this person is? The only way we gather that information is through what the media presents to us. And they've had it in for this woman and this guy since they first announced that they were together. And they have crucified them in every possible way. I mean, I don't think that Prince Charles, as revolting an individual as he is, I believe, necessarily, and the way he treated Diana and what brought about the separation and his additional affair and the whole business that was around that, there wasn't any great criticism of him for that because he was a future king. Harry's third in line is not going to make it in our lifetime, I can assure you, as king, and probably doesn't even want that role. And there are people saying at the moment, maybe he should be stripped of all his titles. I don't think Harry could give a rat's ass whether he has the titles or not. What's most important to him is how he conducts his life and the life that he has with his wife. That's what's important, and the life that they have for their children. And they want to do the best they can to preserve that in the way that they can. Now, so much has been said about them over the years that, I can understand the compulsion to want to have to find a way to tell that story. I can understand that. This is their way of doing it. All I'm saying to people is just let it go. If you have something vile to say about them, think about what it is that is motivating you to say something unhelpful about who these people are. What informs you of this? So they're playing on Twitter, they're playing this sequence where she bows and she shows this over-exaggeration of this bowing. And they're making statements about, I'm watching it right now, and they're making statements about Prince Harry, and then they're focusing in on Prince Harry's look as if he's ashamed or embarrassed. No one knows what he was thinking, No one knows how he felt about it, and they're just playing this over and over again because they're taking one segment out and they're expanding it into something that it may not even be, but it fits the narrative. And this is wrong. This is distorting whatever it is that these two young people are trying to tell us. So my message is, give them a break. Look at it as a genuine story about two people's love life, how they got together, the stuff that preceded all of that, which is that bubble in which Harry grew up in, and his relationship with his mother, and how important it is to continue that type of understanding about that relationship, and to celebrate the fact that he's been able to find that in Meghan. And I think this is a good thing, yet everybody, it seems to me, is distorting it. I haven't seen any real comment that supported them as a young couple. And I think that's sad, that we should find the space to be able to see them for who they actually are, not through the lens of the media. You know, this is their media presenting it in their way, even though it's through Netflix, I agree, and, you know, who had control over that. I would suggest that to some extent they did, because they were presenting Netflix with, or the producers with, a whole range of videos and photographs and all that sort of stuff. And some of those are quite personal, and I'm sure if they didn't want them to be, that part of their story to be told, they wouldn't have presented them to the producers in the first place. And how much control they had over that, who knows? So give them a break. Be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more considerate, perhaps a little bit more loving would probably be a good place to start. Thanks for being with me, everybody, and I do suggest that if you want to contact me, feel free to contact me here. Be happy to have a chat to you if need be. Leave a comment below if you like, and also please subscribe and ring the bell for my channel and increase the number of people that are viewing. Thanks, everybody. Take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.